Hello, hello. This is Gerald Salenti. It's Thursday, March 18th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, well, the Dow didn't have a good day. NASDAQ went down. Things aren't looking happy. What's going on? Technology shares led the U.S. stock market lower on Thursday as a spike in bond yields fuel concerns about equity valuations. What equity valuations? You mean the overvalued equity valuations? And prompted investors, what investors? Gamblers, to sell growth-focused high flyers. Growth focus means that they're not making a lot of dough right now, but they believe they're really going to be up high. The NASDAQ lost 3%, worst day since February 25th. And it goes on that the 10-year Treasury yield jumped 11 basis points to 1.75 at its session high. So we had gold prices go down, silver prices go down, that Bitcoin's still looking high. And we heard Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, say, I got to say chair. You can't say chairman or chairwomen. I got to be equal, just a chair to put their crappy piece of you-know-what on. Banksters running the show. Murderers and thieves. Oh, no, they're the Federal Reserve. I forgot. Like the other central banksters. So they came out and said, yeah, we're going to keep interest rates low. We're going to keep trying to do everything we can to boost up this phony economy. And inflation may go much higher, which it is. So there's where your concern is. These markets could come crashing down. It's a real reality. And they're running out of juice in how to keep propping them up. When the markets crash, the reality of how bad things really are will hit Main Street. Right now, the low-life, slimy pieces of propagandist crap for the mainstream media, all they're doing is selling COVID war, fear, and hysteria. Oh, let's hate the Russians, that kind of stuff. And they're missing the big picture. The devastation has been caused by this COVID war. Today, France just announced they're closing down more. A couple of days ago, Dragula from Italy, he closed down the place. He wrote about it in the Trends Journal. So when you're looking at all these lockdowns, the devastation has been caused worldwide is beyond. And oil came down today, fell really hard, 7%. And, they've been artificially propping it up as we've been, reporting on. And to see this kind of drop so quick shows you how bad they see things in the future. Because it was standing up there pretty well for a while, near the $70 mark for Brent crude, and now it's down to $63.28. Fed lifts outlooks, keeps rates stance. The Federal Reserve kept its easy money policy in place. Isn't that nice language? Easy money policy. Cheap money policy. Monetary methadone policy. And they're going to keep buying $120 billion a month of Treasury and mortgage-backed securities. Isn't that nice, huh? Federal Reserve. The gangsters are running the show right in front of your eyes. They just brought in Janet Yellen to be Treasury Secretary, former head of the Federal Reserve. Just brought this other woman in from the Federal Reserve as her, another counselor. Rising costs add to home prices. Prices are surging for the raw materials used to build American homes. I'm telling you this for two reasons. Number one, inflation. You're looking at numbers here. National Builders Association said that rising lumber prices, just the lumber prices, have added $24,000 to the cost of building the average single-family home and about $9,000 per apartment. Okay? You're going to have real inflation. Gold, silver, Bitcoin. Again, we'll write more. We're writing about it. We'll write more about it. It's happening. Gasoline demand seen at its peak. China exports surged late last year. Isn't that great, huh? China was one of our magazine covers not too long ago. One after another. Tank Man 2.0, the Chinese way you will obey, you must obey. That's going back almost a year ago. They're in total control. Not total, but they're getting there. Chinese exports led the world with a year-over-year increase of 3.5% in the third quarter. The growth was even bigger in the fourth quarter, 14%. China's economic activity is soaring. This is Wall Street Journal. Surge in the first 2 months of 2021. Data released by the blah, blah, blah. In January and February, statistics showed industrial production and consumption, investment and home sales in January and February all jumped more than 30%. All right? Home sales by volume, an indicator of demand, soared 143% in the first 2 months of 2021. In America, final tally, travel lost $1.1 trillion in U.S. economic output in 2020. This is according to the Tourism Association, Travel Association, U.S. Travel Association. Unemployment was simply massive. Travel-supported jobs fell by 5.6 million. I'm mentioning this again. The markets are totally rigged. The whole game is rigged in a country near you. Oh, yeah, in a country near you, the Netherlands just brought in that guy, Rut, cutting that rut, staying that rut, same old crappy rut, slut, garbage, running your country, and the people keep following the orders. Guy's going to be in there now for 15 years. Great, huh? Democracy. Extended stay sold for $6 billion. Blackstone Starwood team up. I'm mentioning this because the bigs are getting bigger. That's it. End of story. All we are plantation workers in Slavelandia. Get your job at Walmart's. I'm going to Amazon. I guess I'll work for Federal Express. No jobs. Can't start your own businesses. They killed us. They slaughtered us. They did away with the antitrust acts. These used to be hardware stores, stationery stores. No, you don't need them. We got Home Depot and Lowe's. We only need two. The rest of you, get out of business. We only need Staples and Office Depot. No more stationery stores for little people. We are in charge. You low-life scum politicians that the people keep voting in. The Italians bringing in the Draghi of the sewers. Dragula. Canadian wireless giant bids to merge. Only $16 billion. The bigs kept getting bigger. Rent is cheap. Vacant spaces everywhere. Retailers seize the moment. Story about how the bigs are going in and now, buying, getting cheap rents because there's so many of them. But then you look at the numbers here. Along Lower Fifth Avenue from 42nd Street to 49th Street in New York City, the filthy New York City, brought to you by Scum de Blasio and all the other low-life pieces of crap running the show. Filthy, graffiti, dirty, rotten New York. Retail rents fell 7.6% quarter over quarter. Down 4.8% Madison Avenue. Vacancy for retail rose 21% year over year during the fourth quarter. So one of the stores that are going, isn't it great? Yeah, New York used to be this place we had all your different local shops. Many of the companies that have planned for openings this year are focused on value. Isn't that nice language? This is from CNBC. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Burlington. Oh, yeah, value. Yep. France is closing down, Paris and several other regions under strict lockdown for third time. The new rules for 16 French departments represent a hardening of the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. The rules will take effect Friday and last for 4 weeks. Isolation will last for 5 weeks. Why? I say they should last for 3.5 weeks. They're making this crap up. Little disgusting crap heads are making this stuff up. And the people just keep following. Florida's open schools weren't super spreaders. No, not a conspiracy theory from the Wall Street Journal. Today. In 7 months since Florida schools have avoided major outbreaks of COVID-19 and maintained case rates lower than those in the wider community. Goes on and on. Oh, young children don't transmit the virus efficiently, said Eric Toner, senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. But we'll forget all these facts and keep selling fear and hysteria and freak out the little kids this big that have masks on. We got a lot here. I'll just hit some of it. It's in your Trends Journal. Yeah, 3 feet or 6 feet protocol for schools stirs debate. An article in the Toilet Paper of Record yesterday about how there are absolutely no facts whether you go 1 meter, 2 meter, 3.3 feet by the World Health Organization or the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 6 feet. They're making this crap up. They're crapsters, you got it. They're crapsters. They're bureaucrats. Bureaucrats. These are low-life, sucky jerks that can't get a job on their own and a member of the political system that get them their jobs telling us what to do. Right here, no facts. And again, the facts are there, and we are printing them in the Trends Journal. The lockdowns don't work. Lockdowns don't work. And Florida is proof. And from health organizations showing they don't work. But those are only the facts. Pandemic left children vulnerable. Wow. They take their lives? No. In 2019, South Africa recorded the deaths of 1.4 million children under the age of 5, according to UNICEF. Last year, such deaths climbed by an additional 228,000 as the pandemic complicated access to medical care and food. Not that the kids were going to die of the virus, they're dying from the sanctions that the government has put on the people. Again, look at the cover of our Trends Journal this week. Power, money, power, and control. And our freedom. We lost it. And now we're losing our lives. But don't worry. Carriers add vaccination cards to travel data. Coronavirus, Knesset over there in Israel. OK's electronic bracelet for returners from abroad. Can't say abroad. Have to say a man. A man. A women. A broad. European Commission outlines plans for green vaccination pass. You ready? For freedom of travel with block. That's the way they write it. That's the way they write it. Freedom. No, freedom is gone. Look at the cover of the magazine. Freedom is gone. They're using the words freedom in a way to BS us that they're robbing us of our rights. Drug makers push vaccine for kids amid debate over shot. Get shot. And what else do we have here? We got that. Yemen attacks escalate as U.S. looks to cut ties. Boy, this is disgusting. Brought to you by the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner, Barack Obama. When he was president, the Saudis announced they were going to invade, not invade, of course, they were going to bring freedom and democracy to Yemen. They've been fighting the Houthis since the gang began back in 1934. The Houthis have only been up there for over 1,000 years. Yeah, but the Iranians like them. Anyway, it was under the Obama administration. They announced it. The Saudi ambassador for the United States announced it. I remember the night in March of 2015. And now here we are 6 years later, the worst humanitarian crisis on earth. And the United States has sold the Saudis hundreds of billions of dollars weaponry. Blinken in Japan, challenging Beijing's regional claims. He's our Secretary of State here in the United States. I mention that because a pivotal reset on China on Biden's team. Top story today in the New York Times. The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century is going to be the Chinese century. We've already become like them. They know everything we're doing, where we are, what we do, how we do it, and they tell us how to do it. Democracy and freedom is dead. You got little pieces of scum crap like Andy Cuomo. Yeah, grab him. Yeah, grab him, Andy Cuomo. Nipple rings Cuomo. Passing these laws, rules. I'm the governor. I'll tell you what to do and destroying New York. People here are so uptight buying it. They keep buying it. Now, here's a story. Scant evidence of a plan to storm Capitol. Now, what kind of left-wing, right-wing would have put? Oh, this is only the Wall Street Journal. There's absolutely no proof that there was anything that they intended to storm the Capitol. Barely makes the news. But beefed up U.S. Capitol security will continue. The Chinese way. That's what this country's become. When you look at Washington, D.C., it could be Mao Zedong Square, man. It's it. You know, Tiananmen Square, you got all the military around there, and the freedom is lost. Italy's populists lose taste for Euroscepticism. This is out of today's Financial Times. I mentioned this, how disgusting the Italians have become and how gutless they have become. And as an Italian, I'm ashamed of them. And I lost my feeling for Italy, and I used to go there a lot. Without going into details, she was from Bolzano, and not Italian, but part of Italy after the war. So I used to go there a lot. And when I went for the Milan Fair in 2015, it was brought to you by McDonald's and Coca-Cola. What a disgrace, the whole thing. We did a whole story in the Trends Journal, had photos of the American exhibit. It was disgustingly piece of junk crap. And it was with Italian people, and they're all complaining about the bureaucracy. And I said, what are you doing about it? What are we going to do? Just like you marched off to Mussolini, you brought in Draghi. How low can you go? There are no populist movements. They sold you out. Euroscepticism? Oh, how dare you? How dare you be skeptics of the big ones that have taken over? That you can't put money in the bank and get any savings rate because they got to have negative rates brought to you by Draghi. So they could keep borrowing and run the game for free at your cost. And it's every country. As I said, Northern League, Cinque Stelle, 5-star movement, sold out. You couldn't have brought in a lower life than the bankster of this guy. Or maybe you could. Yeah, I forgot. The one that was there before, Conti, the first guy that locked down the joint. And now they've locked it down again, destroying all the businesses. But you Eurosceptics, don't worry. The bigs are going to take over. It's one after another. So there you have it. Where the market's going, we think we nailed it in the Trends Journal, as we have with the other issues that we're covering. I just went through a very tiny part of what goes into the Trends Journal. What was it? Last week was 130-something pages, the week before 150-something. No advertisements. Flip book. Get it and put it on Kindle. So do what you can to support us, because we're putting out the truth and trends and life and trying to bring beauty, joy, and love and liberty back. And they're stealing it from us in front of our eyes day by day, forcing you to get, you know what, can't say the word because they get you off there. They'll jab you out if you talk about it. This is beyond the belief of what's going on. And now these new lockdowns are going to make a very bad situation worse. Get ready for the greatest depression. Plan now. Thank you. This is Gerald Salenti, and that's some of today's trends in the news. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.